Most agency owners say that they want to run a 6-figure a month agency, but the only thing is that they still think like 5K a month freelancers. And the real difference, it doesn't come down to niche or skill, it just comes down to how you act, think, and actually build and scale your agency. Now, for those of you that don't know me or haven't seen my videos yet, my name is Tom. I'm the co-founder of a marketing agency doing consistent 80 to 100K months. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the real difference between 5K a month marketing agency owners and 100K agency owners. And if you're stuck at 5K, how to make the jump to 100K months. And the craziest part is that this jump may seem like it's exponential and absolutely massive and out of reach, but in reality, it's honestly right around the corner if you put the right systems in place and know exactly what your next steps are. Now, I thought I'd change this video up a little bit. Usually I'm stuck in an office, but it's a beautiful day today in Melbourne, which we don't get many sunny days. So I thought I'd go outside into a beautiful reservoir park and speak about how you can scale your agency to 100K months as soon as possible. So in this video, I'm going to be going over a few different pillars and I'm going to be breaking down each pillar, how a 5K per month agency owner would operate inside that pillar, and also how a 100K a month agency owner operates inside that pillar, what the differences are, and what steps you can make in order to get to those 100K months. Now, the first pillar that we're going to be going over is lead generation. And the difference here is what will make or break your agency being able to scale. And to be completely honest with you, once you have a proven lead generation system in place, that is what is actually going to be able to help you scale and bring in clients consistently. And when it comes to 5K a month agency owners, majority of the time, they don't have an actual ad system in place or any ads even running in order to actually bring in leads, but they mainly just rely on things like, referrals and word of mouth, which can only get you so far. Maybe they're even posting some videos on platforms like YouTube or Instagram, some organic content. But if we're talking about the quickest way to get to those 100K months, running paid ads is definitely the way to go. Now we'll talk about the 100K a month agency owner. Now the difference here is that the 100K a month agency owner has an ad system in place. They are making consistent ads every single week in order to bring in qualified leads on a consistent basis. And lead generation for a 100K a month agency is a completely different ballgame. They're testing new ads every single week. They're keeping the high performing ads live and they're getting rid of those ads that aren't performing so well. And they're spending hundreds, if not thousands per day in ad spend. All these leads get put through some sort of qualification process, whether it's some sort of type form or funnel that they have to go through in order to actually book in a call. And then they get converted into a client on the sales call, whether that's a call with the founder or a closer of the company. Now, this is 100% the biggest difference maker. If you're at 5K a month, what I would 100% recommend you do is run some sort of ads on Facebook or Instagram. Ideally, that's what we personally do. Otherwise, you can run ads on Google, but ideally Facebook or Instagram in order to actually start bringing in some more lead flow. And as you're only making 5K a month, your budget is going to be a lot tighter, but even starting at something like $30 to $50 a day in ads will still bring in more lead flow to allow you to actually bring in those first few clients. Once you've brought those first few clients in, you can scale ad spend to maybe $100, $200 a day, and then it's just a consistent process. Now, the biggest tip here to ask yourself when running ads is simply, why not double ad spend? And what I mean by that is, say you're running ads at $300 a day, why not double to 600? The only thing that will be holding you back and the only reason you'll say, oh, I shouldn't because of this, all you'll do here is just understand what your biggest bottleneck is. Say, for example, you're generating 4 book calls from your ads every single day, right? But your show rate is 25%. So only one of those 4 book calls is showing up. Likely, if someone asks you why you're not going to double your ad spend, the reason is going to be, oh, my show rate's not that high. I'm just going to double my ad spend and then get a ton of people on my calendar that aren't showing up. So what do you need to do then? You need to fix that bottleneck, put systems in place in order to improve your show rate so then you're actually able to scale your ad spend and ultimately have more people show up to the calls where they can close as clients. So without a doubt, that is literally the most important question to ask yourself. Simply, why not double ad spend? And what you'll be able to do is find your biggest bottleneck. All you have to do is try and solve that bottleneck so then you're actually able to scale your ad spend and bring in more clients. Now, the next pillar that we're going to go over, which is pillar 2, is your actual offer, your offer build out. Your offer as an agency owner is one of the most important things. The reason is because there are so many different marketing agencies, coaching businesses out there. So how can you differentiate yourself from the rest of the competition? Now, this is where 5K a month agency owners go extremely wrong. When they actually try and create their offer, they build it more around their deliverables rather than the result that they can provide for their client. An example of this is that a 5K a month agency owner will tell a prospect, we provide Google ads, Facebook ads, and SEO, whereas a 100K a month agency owner would say something like, we will generate you 10 new clients in 30 days. Because in reality, your client doesn't actually care how you provide them the result. They just care that you do provide them the actual result that you've promised them. There are so many agencies that do Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO, all that different stuff. So when a prospect hears that, do they actually care that you do those things? They couldn't care less. They could not care. So if you actually position your offer to be more results driven and say that you can provide a client, 10 new clients, or something like 30 qualified book calls, or a 25% increase in revenue in the next month, different things like that are more results driven will be able to 100% bring you in more leads that are very interested in what you have to offer them. Now, a way to make your offer even more desirable to a prospect is to still include the results driven part inside of that offer, so the 10 new clients or 30 qualified appointments, etc., but is also to include a unique mechanism. Now, a unique mechanism is the real game changer, because yes, results driven offers are great, but they're also becoming very, very popular. I mean, I genuinely think every single day when I open up Instagram and scroll for a bit, I'd probably see like 2 or 3 ads about like results driven offers. They do become a little bit popular. So a unique mechanism also differentiates yourself a lot from the competition. I'll give some example of this if you're aware of some other creators in the space. People like Nick Setting, he uses a unique mechanism, which is the profile funnel. And what this profile funnel is that he runs ads for his clients that get redirected back to that client's Instagram profile, where they're able to DM their leads, book them in for calls, and close them as clients. But because he has that specific system, he's just known in the space a lot more, genuinely because of that mechanism. So when you're creating an offer, think about what you do, which is different than your competition, and just literally make a specific name for what you do and use that in your offer as your unique mechanism. Honestly, to make a name for a unique mechanism, it just has to be probably 3 words, nice, short, and snappy, and then you just have to put that mechanism inside of the offer itself. A tip that I recommend as well is to use AI in your mechanism, because AI stands out massively compared to any of the mechanisms, because people think that AI is the future. I mean, it kind of is. So if you include AI into your mechanism, that will definitely help you stand out, especially when running ads. And the last pillar, which differentiates 5K a month agency owners and 100K a month agency owners, is their team. Likely as a 5K a month agency owner, your team is you and probably ChatGPT, but as a 100K a month agency owner, you have to have a very strong and reliable team which performs day in and day out. And I mean, look, when you're at 5K a month, the only thing you really need is yourself and ChatGPT at the beginning stages. But when you're at 100K a month, you do need a very solid foundation and a team that you can trust to deliver results every single day for clients. But what I'm actually going to be explaining in this pillar is when you should bring more people onto your team and how you should bring them on, what training you should provide them, and what stages you should be at when bringing them on. Because let's be honest, when you're at 5K a month, you're going to be doing all of your client fulfillment, you're going to be appointment setting with every single lead that you get, you're going to be on sales calls, you're going to be doing the whole lot. So the first person that you want to bring onto your team, 100%, would be some sort of account manager to handle the fulfillment. Now, a lot of people may think, I want to bring in a closer so I don't have to do any sales calls. But at the beginning stages, what you want to make sure you do as a 5K a month agency owner is utilize your time on the biggest needle moving activities possible. So ultimately, the tasks that bring in the most amount of money for the agency and actually help the agency scale. And in the beginning stages, sales calls will 100% do that. And who's going to be the best at sales calls in the beginning? It's going to be you. And the reason for that is because you know exactly how your systems work. You can answer all the questions that the prospect has. Whereas if a closer comes in and they struggle to answer the prospect's questions, well, your close rate's going to go down to practically 0%. So first person you want to bring on is an account manager. Train them to handle all of the fulfillment. Whilst they're doing all the fulfillment, you can scale your ad spend as your calendar is going to have more space, which means more sales calls can actually go on your calendar and you can focus strictly on sales calls and just bring in new clients. Now, once you're here, you'll likely be able to get to 20 to 30K months, and then you'll find that you're going to scale your ad spend, but you're not going to have enough calendar space. So the next person that you want to bring on is a closer or appointment setter, if not both. And the thing is, I don't want you guys to rush into this process of bringing in a closer. I honestly recommend that you should take at least like close to 500 sales calls before you bring in a closer. I highly recommend you be in the dumps. Like you go and take sales calls every single day, 8 calls a day in, day out, to see how you go with closing. You'll get better. If you're taking 8 calls every single day, you'll consistently get better. You will actually be able to close deals, and then you can really train your closer as best as possible because you know exactly what to do on those calls. The appointment setter probably isn't as hard. I mean, you just have to make sure you have a script in place for them, let them know exactly what to do when calling leads, make sure that they stay on top of it, and make sure that they're calling leads ideally within 5 minutes. And the people that you want to bring on from that stage, I mean, once you're at 100K months, the people you want to kind of bring on would be like fulfillment managers, sales managers, so that they can ultimately handle the whole sales side or the whole fulfillment side while you focus solely on the most needle moving activities to help the business grow. So those are the 3 pillars that I use to scale to consistent 80 to 100K months. Now, if you guys want a full step-by-step playbook and system on how to get to those consistent 80 to 100k months, literally just book a call in the calendar below. I've got a link in the description to have a quick 30-minute chat with me, or you can just shoot me a message on Instagram and we can have a chat there. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.